Hello, hi everybody. Thank you for
Sorry.
putting the chair on my toe. That was
Okay,
awesome. Thank you. So that starts
Hi.
well.
No, we
Hi.
start again.
No, you're
Hi.
not. All right, so let's do today. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I just solo my linear on my fourth try, so I'm still
You
shaking a
ready?
bit from it, but I'm feeling pumped. So there we go. Beat the
Yes.
DLC twice. Can solo my linear on my fourth try. I know you don't know what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter. I do, and I'm pumped. So let's do this.
It means you're savage as Elden Ring. That's what it means.
I'm getting
right?
pretty good, so that's cool. It's all about the build, people. Anyway, training frequency. That's what I want to go at today, right? So I did a podcast in French with Jack. It's very exhausting. And actually, we were talking programming, as in, how often do you do what? So training frequencies, and I wanted to go over that a little bit, as obviously programming correctly.
Interesting.
So we're going to use the performance box for that. So what does that mean? We're going to decompose in neural output, muscle capacity, and skill. So neural output and skill are on the opposite side of the recovery scale. So we're going to program not based on exercises, we're going to program based on recovery. So we're going to split exercises in three. Neural output takes the longest to recover. Skill takes the lowest amount to recover, muscle capacity being between the two.
Okay.
So let's start with neural output first.
Okay.
What are the things that are the hardest to recover from on the neural output? I would say the deadlift and the burner questions.
That's the hardest to recover from.
Those are
I would
the,
say-
let me put it this way. You might feel you recover, but those are the things that you can do the least frequently.
Yeah.
In at least the Strongfit idea, right? So that means that how we're going to handle the burner question versus the deadlift. So my idea, we're going to do deadlift 1 week, burner question the other.
Oh, interesting. So, and that would be like on the nervous system, right? Or
Yes.
you mean? Okay, interesting.
Right, neural output.
Yeah.
So nervous system. Good job. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
No, but I mean like from muscle contraction.
No, that's muscle capacity.
Oh, that's true.
So we're going to put the deadlift. Obviously, muscle capacity matters, but we're going to, in order to be able to program, you need to create basically categories,
Yeah.
right? So that you can at least visualize your programming on a piece of paper and go, okay, that's how I'm going to do this, that's how I'm going to do that, right? So let's put it in categories. The three categories bring more neural output, more muscle capacity, more
Interesting.
skills, right? So neural output, we're going to put the two major one, which is going to be the deadlift and burn the question. So 1 week deadlift, heavy, 5 reps like we do normally, and 1 week burn the questions. Burn the questions would be, for example, like sled drag, sled harness, sled sprint. So for example, we could do 1 week, we do, because the deadlift and the squat, the powerlifting squat are not the same. You can recover faster from the squat
100%.
that you can do from the deadlift. That being said, a powerlifting squat, low bar, all in the hips, is still very, very, very taxing. You do that once a week maximum, probably once every 2 weeks in the way I'm going to explain now, which is not the same thing as a high bar back squat that is more muscle capacity, and therefore you can do more often. So the program is going to look like this. 1 week we're going to do deadlift, max weight 5 reps, done. Next week, we're going to start with a low bar barbell back squat, powerlifting style. 1 set of 5, right? And from there, we're going to move into the sled. So we're going to do 3 drags, 2 harness, 1 sprint. 3 drags, max intensity to finish off the squat. Max capacity on the sled drag, right? Max weight, distance, yeah. We're going to do 2 harness, right? Second one is going to be hard, and then that last sprint sessions, we have 2 ways of doing it. Either we go until we cannot just move your feet anymore, so like 150 meters to your maximum, or we do the Imam style, the 12-second Imam till you can't get to 15. Okay. Either way, we push that session to the utmost maximum. This is a burn the question session. So, which is a lot like I was doing it back in the gym, except I would put yoke carry and stuff, but the back squat will take care of it.
Okay.
That's 1 week, 1 week.
Interesting.
Right?
I like
right. It. So we are talking about the squat. For example, there are different forms of squats. So you can high bar back squat more often, right? You can do
Sandbag squat.
sandbag squats, you can do Anderson squats, you can do sandbag front squats, right? So those are more toward our muscle capacity type of thing, right? So that means that we're gonna back squat 3 times a week.
Yeah.
A form of squat. So
yeah.
not back squat with a barbell. Like you can do some high bar, you can do some sandbag squats, you can do some sandbag front squats. Form of squat.
I really love that, Eddie, because I feel like to progress on the squat, you need to squat a lot. Like at least from my experience, that's the only way to get better at squatting. If you're basically, I don't say squatting every day, but at least like 3 or 4 times a week, you need to do a form of squatting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not. I mean.
So the apex on that side is going to be really the deadlift and the burner questions, right? Anything after that is going to fall between the neural output and the muscle capacity, so we can do it more often. So what do I mean by that? I mean we can do a structural work once a week.
Yeah.
Yoke carry, farmer's carry, sandbag carry, all the carries, right? Rope pulls. We do at least rope pulls. We can do it more often because it's more toward the muscle capacity. So let's say with structure. So once a week we're going to do our yoke carry, farmer's carry, sandbag carry. We can always switch exercises, do 2 out of 3, depending on how we feel. Because on the deadlift week, for example, I would not do necessarily the farmer's carry, right?
Yeah.
Or on the burn the question week, since we did the back squat, I don't do the yoke, I do the farmer. So I recover very well, and that means I do max squat, burn the question, and yoke carry in the same week. And then after that, the deadlift and the farmers. That will depend on.
Yeah, you can play around with that.
You can play around, depends on your back versus your hips, honestly. But the idea is we will do, so deadlift and burner question once every 2 weeks. Every week we're going to do the structure, right? So heavy carries. Now, as we go a bit more toward muscle capacity, we find the squatting in there. So now just the barbell back squat that is still very taxing. So we can do a high bar back squat every week, but then we're going to introduce the sandbag squats, sandbag front squats, that workout that I love, which is maximum reps, let's say 5-6 reps on the sandbag, max weight for that, into max distance carry, which is still one of the best workouts out there, right? Yeah. So that one, awesome. So 3 types of squatting per week. If you're on your week where you did your barbell back squat powerlifting style, then that counts as one. Yeah. But you can still keep on squatting because squatting requires, I think, more volume. And if you absolutely build for it, you can even squat a 4th time. Some people squat 5 times a week. That's as long as I believe that as long as you rotate the exercises, it won't be that bad.
No, squatting is just so different than deadlifting on
right.
that.
Yeah.
It's just completely a different animal. Like you can even do like conditioning with squatting in it, and like anyway. Really
and so because there's less skill than, let's say, a snatch, 3 times a week is fine. I would argue that it's going to be the same thing for the press, for example. Like it's push press anyway, right? I'm not talking about split jerk. We're going to get to that because that's the technical stuff, right? We're going to keep going with the sandbag. So I would say we put on that squat day, we're going to put a press, which means a sandbag clean and press, the dumbbell, right? The monster dumbbell that I like so much.
Yeah.
Even if you have a normal dumbbell, like just doing like almost like a look at Paul Anderson style type of thing, right? So that's going to be 3 times a week, some form of pressing. So again, my favorites are the sandbag clean and press, some type of one-arm press I love. So whether with a monster dumbbell, you can use a normal dumbbell as well, or the barbell, which I still think is one of the best exercises out there.
Yeah.
Right. And the third one would be, that's up to you, the log, barbell push press. You can put the bench press if you want into that. That will depend on a little bit what you want to focus on. Like if you're a powerlifter, obviously it'll be the bench press.
Yeah. Obviously.
Right.
And that would be like how what was the frequency on that?
3 times a week the press, I think. Press. You see that with Olympic weightlifting. Honestly, to be good at pressing, you have to press often.
Yeah.
It's all lats and triceps.
Yeah,
and this requires volume.
That's what
it's
I
a bit
really
like the quads.
Well.
They require abuse and volume. I mean, that is not true of the deadlift and of burn the questions. I think training frequency is the key to all that. Just like timing is the key to food and quantities, right? Same thing, it's about digestion.
Yeah.
Since training is about recovery, I think we have to decompose how we train based on recovery and not on what is energy system and stuff like that. Nah, it's more, some require more, others less. The deadlift, I got to tell you, deadlifting every 2 weeks, You see it with the top deadlifters. It's plenty.
It's more than enough.
You don't need more than that.
It's really not.
You really like, we're gonna build you a stronger back. We're gonna, like, we don't need more than that. So really, deadlifting every 2 weeks, and you want to keep the energy for other stuff, because recovering from every week, as soon as you get strong, is just too hard.
Oh yeah.
It's not interesting. I just think it's not, the risk is not worth the reward type of thing. It's just diminishing return to deadlift every week.
Yeah, I really think so. And I think, for example, in deadlifting, personally, I never really saw the benefit of deadlifting light for reps. I didn't really feel like it was benefiting my strength
Overall
level.
strength, yeah.
But on the squat, I did feel like
Yeah.
squatting light really benefited my heavy squatting tremendously because of the movement pattern, because of, there's something about that training that muscle groups, that movement pattern and muscle groups that just needs a lot of volume in
Yeah.
different variations.
Paul Anderson always stated that, by the way. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Interesting.
always. Yeah.
I just
For him, he loved it because he said the blood flow was what he
Yes.
thought was the reason the squat were so good. So he took that into handstand push-ups. So he had like a whole thing built in because he weighed 360. So handstand push-up for
I
him was
remember
not
you
simple.
showed
Yeah.
me that. It was really
And
cool.
it was so, and with the idea of blood flow going to the shoulder and everything. We're gonna get into the body weight stuff, but for now, I'm using the sandbags, but you put whatever type of pressing you want in that. So they lift every 2 weeks, pound the question every 2 weeks, you rotate, then you squat and press 3 times a week.
And then on the pressing, how often would you heavy press versus volume press?
Well, you're gonna do it 3 times a week, so I would alternate.
Yeah.
I would do one exercise heavy, one volume. So that means some weeks you're gonna have 2 heavy for 1 volume, some weeks you're gonna have 2
Yeah.
volume for 1 heavy.
Okay, makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would put the heavies on the burn the question, the 2 heavies on the burn the question week, and the 2 volume on the deadlift week.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
the deadlift will take so much out of your lower back and stuff like that. And the lower back is very, very important on the press. If you can't keep your core correctly braced on the pressing overhead, you'll ruin your back, and that with all the heavy structure over time, it will diminish your deadlift.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I really feel like that, and I feel like with the bench as well, like you need to build that upper back and triceps,
Mhm.
which just takes a lot of volume and a lot of like not assistance work pressing, but like even if it's body weight, it needs to have a lot of like
Yeah.
you need to build tissue.
We're gonna get to the body weight, but first we go at the deadlift's gonna be like 3 reps. Burn the question, you know how it is. So now we're moving to the 3 times a week. Then we can go to 5, 6.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that, because it's a little bit more toward muscle capacity, a little bit less toward neural output. So we get to do it more often.
Yeah.
And the skill is very important, obviously, on either, but it's a matter of muscle capacity versus neural output. Muscle will recover a lot faster than your nervous system will.
Yeah, and what I like about this is literally the same as what you said about 5, 50, and 100s.
Yeah.
It falls all in that same
It's
category.
the same idea. And then, so in there, we're going to put all our compound movement, right? We're going to put the rope pulls that I would like to do once a week, if not twice. Rope pulls is muscle capacity. There's no skill. There's some neural output, but not really.
Talk
It's
about
just
blood flow, by the way. Like
yes, exactly. You get a massive pump. All that stuff is like the overhead you carry. There's no skill. It's a little bit more neural output, but it's still the overhead you carry. You can always work out on your structure day anyway. But those rope pulls, just go for it, right? So we said we're going to do burn the questions every 2 weeks. On the week that you're not going that hard, we can still do some sled work if you want to just, get a good blood flow. Sled work is great, I mean. Or this is the week where we put more sprinting stuff. So, for example, we're gonna get to that on the pure conditioning. We're going to talk about strength first. So 3 times press type of thing. So press through squatting or press through upper body. And then we get into muscle capacity skill, which is where I believe the body weight is. Body weight, actually, we can recover really well from. It's really not that much neural output.
I really think sometimes it also helps to recover. I don't know how you feel about that, but sometimes,
because it's not taxing on the nervous system.
It feels good to move body weight, and after you've done that for a while, like do a few sets, all of a sudden I feel like, okay, like I feel like I can, like sometimes
you're reconnected.
Reconnected to the muscle, like even if you do a little bit of
because
cardio
the neural
with
output
it,
doesn't have to go external. It can just stay internal, and there's just less neural output. You can do pull-ups every day. So as we move to body weight, even for strength, going to be every day. So we're going to do a set of an exercise that gets us under 5 reps. And then we're going to do some sets of 10 reps, 15 reps, sometimes 20 reps, right? Whether it's pull-ups or push-ups. Like push-ups, for example, you can do handstand push-ups. Most people, it'll be like 3-4 reps max, right? Strict. So that's a strength workout, and then you move into 2 sets of max push-ups, or even 1 set, and then you try to get to 15. So we'll do one-arm push-up, for example, is going to be hard. Most people will get to 5 maybe, followed by push-ups or followed by dips, right? You can do dips with weight or without weight. Dips with weight will be more taxing, so you can't do it as often. But pure body weight, even for strength, even below 5, you can do every day.
Yeah.
If you feel it's too much, then you alternate pulling and pushing. So one day you do all your pull-ups and your Nordic curls. The other day you do all your push-ups, handstand push-ups, pistols, everything. But we're going to do strength and volume on the body weight every day.
Yeah. 5
times a week. So really, we follow a 1-3-5.
And it's a great warm-up too for even the heavy days, like doing the body weight exercise.
Right,
like
so let's get into
squats.
that. So we're going to do 1-3-5, right? We're going to do body weight every day. Let's say we train 5 times a week. We're going to 3 times squat and press, and we're going to 1 time either pull or do a heavy neural output with burn the questions, right? So that's a 1-3-5, 5 sessions a week, right? Talking about body weight that we're going to do every day. Yes, I love to do it as a warm-up. Even for strength, it does not tax me to the point where moving weight is affected. So I love doing my body weight first. So there's a few caveats to that. If I'm going to deadlift, I can't go ham on my ab wheel because I will fatigue my core so much that I'll pay the price on the deadlift. And that's a little bit dangerous. So I would have to be careful. For example, same thing on the squat. I don't want to do my ab wheel fully before lifting heavy, doing structure work or whatever. So I would target differently. I would do for example, all my lat work and all that stuff before doing. I can even do that before the deadlift. You don't want to fatigue the biceps and the lats too much before the deadlift, but so what we could do is we could just warm up doing pull-ups, warm up with maybe a few pistols, stuff like that, just to get the hips going.
Like, I don't know how you, like, what I kind of feel is that I like to do the bodyweight exercises that help me find the movement pattern I'm using for deadlift.
Yeah.
So, like, I like the split squats, for example, before
Yeah, but I would handle differently. I would do a warm-up with split squat, pistols, a few pull-ups, but I would not push it.
Yeah.
So that muscles are not too fatigued.
Yeah,
right.
That's not,
then we do the deadlift, then we go back to the bodyweight stuff. And then we can hammer the strength on the bodyweight stuff, right? So we do higher reps, like let's say 10 to 15, just to get a warm-up, nice blunt flow everywhere. And then we work on our strength after the deadlift session. Same thing for the squat, right? So, but I like to find the movement pattern I'm going to use with weights first with body weight. That has worked really
very
well. And honestly, do pull-ups every day anyway. Do pull-ups, do one-arm pull-ups, do rope climb, which is a one-arm pull-up. So on the body weight stuff, I think it's very important to state that unilateral work matters. So you need to do one-arm stuff. You need to do one-arm pull-ups, one-arm push-ups, pistols. So that should be one day bilateral, one day unilateral. You should do it that often. One day on, one day off, basically.
Yeah, and every day is back day in some way.
Well, every day is lat day.
Yeah.
Do lats every day, anyway. And then with the body weight, you're going to do a lot of tricep. That and the bench and the sandbag. We'll see if it's enough. If it's not enough, because we're going to put a lot of dips, then you just dips more often. So you'll notice I just took out all bodybuilding, all isolation workout completely. And I'm using that assistance work bodybuilding idea, yes, still, but I use body weight to do that. And that has worked better for, I think one of the main reasons I've discovered is when I do my body weight, I move faster. And that's the key. Move faster. And with body weight, you do that. As soon as you're better, you start to just pump. You just move faster naturally. That is not true with bodybuilding, where you have to stretch, contract, stretch, contract. If anything, with bodybuilding, I was lifting slower and slower and slower. With body weight, I'm starting to lift faster and faster and faster. It's very enjoyable. It makes me far more aggressive in my training, and I just train better. Yeah. So I think we can still talk about hypertrophy, about assistance work and all of that, but we're not going to go toward isolation. We're going to stay with compound movement in the sense of body weight exercises. And there are so many variations. You can do them every day and not see the same exercise for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There's so many variations. Look at push-ups. You can do push-ups in so many ways. Unstable, one arm, like there's so many. Handstand push-up, handstand holds, one arm handstand holds. Same thing with pistols. Pistols of split squats.
You can find different angles.
Jumps,
different
broad jumps, high, box jumps, broad jumps. One-legged jumps, sprinting, by the way, sprinting, actually, Nordic curls. God, there's so many.
Yeah, like, talking more about sprinting the last, few weeks and everything, I got really inspired to think a lot about, like, the really exercises I used to do to improve my sprinting, like all the stairs work, the sand work, the hill sprint. So the upcoming few weeks, I'm really gonna try to film a lot of those because I feel like that would be a really cool way to add into sprinting.
Let's talk programming for a second with that, because let's say I'm programming for an athlete and we're gonna do it the Strongfit way. So I got my 1-3-5, right? Everyday body weight, 3 times squat and press, 1 time either deadlift or burn the questions. All right. Then to that, we're going to add the conditioning. All right. So basic minimum conditioning, for example, we're going to do three times 400 meter run with 3-minute break in between maximum. And I want the third 400 meters to be under 130. There you go.
I like it.
Once a week. That's it. That's what I'm asking. That's the minimum. Is once a week we do that.
So 130 is like the warm-up lap, or is that what people run these days?
It's the last. It's a third one.
I'm trash talking. No, because 130 is slow.
It's slow, but imagine 130 on Helen.
It's not slow. It's not slow.
No, but imagine 130 on Helen.
Oh no, it's fast.
He gets
talking a little bit.
Oh, you can look at me. I still beat you on the 5K. So you don't get to trash talk me on running. You couldn't bat a 40-year-old, 108 kilo strongman on the 5K. So trash talk all you want, lady. Like, I still got you until you beat me at that. Like, and by a mile, you can trash talk all you want. So exactly. So we're gonna do our 400 meter 3 rounds. If we are trying to get really fit, for example, I still think one of the best thing I did, and that's how I prepared for the 5K, was that 1K every 6 minutes, with every K had to be in under 330. I think my best was like 320 every 5 minutes. That's when I got ready for that. I should have done the first round, but 3 rounds at 320 every 5 minutes, that'll get you a good 5K.
Yeah, that's very fast.
Yeah, so you don't need to do faster than that. But I think that's something you could work toward. And honestly, once a week, if you get to a moment where you can go under 330 on a K, on a 1K run every 5 minutes for 3 rounds, and the third round is under 330, once a week, you're fine.
Yeah.
Conditioning-wise, with that and the burner question and the sled work,
I was going to say, like, if you add the sled work in, because the last 2K is really just a mental grind, so you just need to be able to tap into that pain and just...
Remember, it's 1K rounds, huh? Every 5 minutes.
No, I mean, when you if you would actually prepare for a 5K...
Oh, if you do 5K, the last K, is how much pain can you take?
Yeah, so if you do burn the questions and you're mentally strong,
you're good posterior chain,
you can smoke it. Then you just are just fine with doing that that
so
program,
once a week, that's fine. So let's say 400 meters, and yes, you can work yourself to 1K. Now, if we want to add a second conditioning session, how about interval rowing?
That hurts. That's so good.
Same thing. Yeah. You do 3 rounds. Try to be under 130 on the third round.
Yes, honestly, rowing has been. I really like when I was going to CrossFit gym. I was rowing a lot. Like here at the house, we don't have a rower, but I need to make the trip because rowing is just so freaking good for you.
Right. So, look, that gives you. With the warm-up, so you have basically 4 sessions a week when you do something hard with the sandbag and stuff like that. The 5th session will be your conditioning session. That's 5 sessions per week. We're good.
Yeah.
Again, you want to add the second one somewhere or put the rowing intervals.
Yeah.
Right?
And would you
by the way, rowing interval or put a CrossFit workout if you want to have fun.
Yeah. So you think the 5th conditioning workout should always be running, or do you think it...
There's a part of me that, like, the thing is, running can be a lot for the hips for most people. So if you don't like the 3 times 400 meters, do I think it's a better conditioning? Yes. That being said, the rower is amazing.
Yeah.
So if you don't feel like, or you can alternate. Do one time the 400-meter run if you can, and then when you cannot, do it on the rower.
Yeah.
It's still an amazing exercise.
It is.
The airdyne is a little bit different because the airdyne goes really close to the sled. They're very close in how they hit you. So I would still put either rowing or running as that fifth workout.
I like it.
Right, with body weight every day. So we could do that fifth workout either running or rowing, and if you want a second one is different, you could do airdyne or sled. We have sled sprints, but for example, running uphill. If you don't want to do airdyne, you do running uphill. So or you do the CrossFit workout, but that puts you into 5 workouts per day, which I think
Per week.
which I think is necessary. Then if we want to go past that, then you're starting to get into conditioning phase. You're not in the strength phase anymore. You're not going to get stronger past that because you're not going to recover from it. The second you start to add to that fifth session, even if it's conditioning, now you're starting to grind toward muscle capacity. It's not the neural output might be able to do. That's why you feel like, oh, I feel fine. But your body will just not be able to generate the intensity necessary anymore. So even if you feel you recover, actually you're not. Like that's a problem with neural output is you might feel that you're ready to go, but you're not able to generate the intensity. Again, muscle capacity can go a lot further than you think. That's not true of neural output. Neural output is measured with your capacity to have a murderous intent. You're not going to have a murderous intent every day. That's just not true. Once a week is already a lot. So you do once a week a murderous intent, either deadlift or burn the questions. You have those 3 squats press, which already requires a lot. You go into that conditioning, you start to add to that, chances are your nervous system won't recover. So it's up to you to find the balance where you want strength versus conditioning, but understand something. If I push my conditioning right now, yes, I can get conditioned fast. I could start working toward the 5K and get there really fast. The issue with that is everything else takes a backseat. So now I can work either my structure or my deadlift or whatever. Right, but I don't do that for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Soft tissue, a bunch of stuff get deconditioned. I go back to strength and I suffer. You know what I mean? Cardio comes back fast. Strength doesn't. And by the way, body weight strength doesn't either. I've discovered that. You don't have to do it all the time, but if you don't, it goes away. Like that's, I think, what happened to me. My shoulder feels so much better now. I was at 90%-ish, but it feels, my energy level is going up so much because I feel like as my body weight strength comes back, everything is popping back up. I feel so much better about that. So I would say keep the strength going. My advice to you is keep the strength going. Weights and body weight. Keep that that should be your prime focus, honestly. Conditioning is easy. Easy in the sense of it's not easy, it hurts a lot, but it comes back fast.
Oh yeah.
I make you do a cycle of 8 weeks of running, and then I can get you ready for a 5K in 10 weeks.
Yeah. 100%.
I can't get you ready for a powerlifting competition in 10 weeks. Not unless you're at 90%. I think that's the biggest difference between cardio and strength, is in order to be ready for let's say a strength competition, I need you at 90% and then a 10-week cycle. For cardio, I just need 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'll get you in shape. You are going to win the worlds of 5K, but you're not going to win the world at 5K either.
No.
So, yeah, you know what I mean?
Actually, even in sprinting, we did, like, there was the time where we did, like, a lot of, like, you know, the body weight, like, all of that hill stuff and everything. That was mostly the build up to the season. Like, actually getting conditioned for competition was a 10-week max to really get snappy and get, like,
that's enough.
primed.
Yeah, that's enough.
But, like, the structure building and the time to build the capacity is just, that's where the strength is built and takes so much more time.
But that's something like you see time and time again with strength sports, is that it has to be like all year long. You have to be at 90% all the time. You lose your capacity, not just neural output. You lose and it's not just muscle, you lose the soft tissue. You lose so fast when it comes to strength. My advice would be stay strong all year long at 90%. So do body weight for strength, structure work all year long, right? Build the proper muscles continuously, and then your conditioning is done based on your recovery. Those moments where you recover very well because maybe you sleep better, you ate better, you're less stressed at work, all that stuff, then add the conditioning based on that. But have your basic strength always. What does that mean? That means deadlift every 2 weeks, burn the question, alternated. Means 3 squat and press, body weight for strength 5 times a week. Do that. And based on your recovery of that, add the conditioning piece, but only based on that. This should be all year long, and you should stay above 90%.
Yeah, and what I also noticed with conditioning is like, if you add conditioning to, I don't know how it is if you are just training for conditioning, but if you add it to lifting, you cannot do any skill work in your conditioning. It has to be like either single modality or like low skill movement that you're very comfortable with. Otherwise, it's another thing, and it's not gonna. I think it actually harms your strength then more than anything, don't you? Do you think? Like if you're gonna do, let's say, conditioning workout with snatches in combination with your strength program.
Right. So let's go into Olympic weightlifting. So Olympic weightlifting is a bit of a. It's always a difficult one to place because is it based on strength? Yes. But for most people, it's still skill first and muscle capacity. Like, the bottom line is for most people, Olympic weightlifting, you're just not strong enough overall. Your structure can't take the weight, stuff like that. The skill, when is skill really required in Olympic weightlifting? When you first start, so the first 18 months, and then once you get really good, because now you have to nail. Because you start to play with percentages where you have to nail it exactly, otherwise you're screwed, right? But everything in between, it's about getting stronger. So we're going back into the same thing. So there's a structure to be done. So for example, overhead your carry becomes extremely important because it's going to make your overhead squat better, for example, which you're going to need to stabilize in order to catch the snatch. That being said, it's very, very easy to lose the timing on that. So even in that phase where you're trying to get stronger, I would spend a lot of time getting stronger, and I would make sure every single day I work on my timing, on catching the bar correctly, stabilizing properly. So I would just direct the programming, the exercises choices on that, so that it's always Olympic weightlifting specific, right? So that means a lot of stabilization for the overhead stuff. And so I love the sandbag for that. I love the overhead yoke carry. But then there's going to be an amount of barbell work every single day that go into the skill part. So not too heavy, but continuously getting, the timing properly. And then we have a phase of preparation for a competition. So I would honestly make sure that my snatch is at 90. At that, I will leave the Olympic weightlifter give you the percentages, but I'm sure it's over 90% continuously, right? Making sure the timing is always there. And then after that, brute strength. Just get stronger, because that's going to help you with Olympic weightlifting. Most of you just need to get stronger. Your squat is too low, your pulling is too low, your triceps are not strong enough. If you can up that, trust me, you'll PR. And then eventually the technique comes back in. But if you see like a clock up, for example, he got stronger on the snatch as he got stronger overall. I mean, like, some people are perfect technique. Most people just need to get stronger. So Olympic weightlifting is... Oops, sorry, the cat is going to knock the camera over. Please, Kitty, don't do that. Sorry. Kitty, no. Kitty, I don't know why, but Kitty's messing with the camera.
Good
so
job,
we're still
Kitty.
good. There you go.
Good job. Come here, baby.
Go back on your chair. There you go.
Yeah, for that person that commented the other video,
she's fluffy.
She is back on the chair too. Look at her.
And how fluffy is that cat, right?
Yeah, that was
Kitty
the best
is
comment
gorgeous.
ever.
Yeah. Yes, she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. You're the queen. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, baby.
She's gorgeous. Anyway, so most people that come with me, it's not just Olympic weightlifting, it's just strong overall, like strong and fit, right? So for me, it's always recovery. It's the same thing, same idea as a protocol. Everything is based on recovery. So this is the structure I like to have. It's that 1-3-5, and based on where you are with that, we're going to add the conditioning. So you have to be honest with yourself about if you recover or not. You're going to have to find the markers that for you tell you recover. For me, it's simple. It's murderous intent. I look at a sandbag right at the 100 kilos. So right now I can do the strict press. I can take my 90 kilos, so 200 pounds, clean it and strict press it cold. So, but I can tell you when I look at it if I'm gonna have it or not. If I look at it, I'm gonna rape you, bitch. I know I'm recovered correctly. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like Malenia on the first try.
We're gonna get like our YouTube channel is gonna be.
Oh, we're not monetized.
No, I know.
We don't monetize anyway.
We're gonna get even.
We have
more
1,000 views on the podcast anyway.
I know.
Like we can't get any lower.
No.
Like those are all people. Everybody watching the podcast, thank you. You're just sticking with us.
You're literally like the 3 people watching are literally having to look for us.
I meant rape you, bitch. When I talk to the sandbag, it's between the sandbag and me.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, doesn't the algorithm these days even monetizes like that?
Oh yeah. They'll hear the word.
Isn't it crazy how much you have no like? Is freedom of speech seriously still a real thing if you can't like?
No, that's gone. That's been gone for a while.
It's crazy.
And it's not even just cancel culture. Like I'm banned from Facebook. I still don't know why. Like I'm permanently banned from Facebook. Like none of my email. I would have to create a new email address
crazy.
to. Yeah. They banned my account, the Strongfit account on Facebook. I can't even tell you why. Just one day, that was years back. I got an email saying
it was back in Amsterdam or in Utrecht even.
Yeah, you have 30 days to appeal the decision. I appeal. They say appeal is denied. But they never told me why. Yeah. Like the community guidelines, but they never said why. And bye. Correct? Okay. But so it's weird because Facebook owns Instagram and I'm still on Instagram. But I keep losing 100 followers, exactly 100 every 2 months, I think. It's very consistent. But okay, like what? Like we don't all know what's happening anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
But
so
the internet is dead. Like I see a future where we will not less and less people are on social media for that reason. They're just killing the internet in that sense, and we'll go back to the old school way of prior, before Facebook. Well, we'll find other ways to communicate the people we like and stuff like that. Podcasts will stay on, and that's all that matters. By the way, shout out to Mark Bell and Nima and everybody at the Power Project podcast. It's on. If you want to go see, please don't take the clips out of context. Watch the whole episode and you will see that I am not condemning therapy in the way you think I do.
Yeah. Are you happy with the podcast?
I didn't listen to it. I only listened. I don't remember what I said. I absolutely don't remember what I said. It's over 2 hours. Yeah. I know I kind of trash talk you, but at the same time say, strong I think you are.
Yeah,
I know I talked about lactate and I know I talked about anxiety. After that, I don't remember. I know I said retarded a few times on purpose. Because fuck all of them, honestly. I don't remember what I said. Like, I just know, like, I'm sure, because I remember even at the time thinking, if they take what I just say out of context, it's going to sound really bad.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, you can do about any of my podcasts anyway.
I was going to say, like, that's not that hard to do.
Deadlift is prison sex. Yeah, that's not hard to...
If I don't look at the sandbag and I think I'm going to rape you, like, just that sentence what you just said, if you clip that, put it on Instagram.
Well, I mean, you all know what I'm talking about. It's either you're raping the sandbag or the sandbag is raping you. But, by the way, I did not always win.
No, but if you... No, okay. Like, listen to this. Yeah. If you walk up to a sandbag and not think, bitch, I'm winning, you are not winning.
Then the sandbag is winning. Like, it's one or the other.
I mean, I lifted some heavy sandbags and all of them, I was like, oh my fucking lord. And then when I walked up to them, like, you cannot think, oh my god. You have to think, like, bitch, you're mine.
Yeah, 100%.
If you don't think that, you're never going to live that.
Bitch, I'm going to rape you. Yeah. That's what she thinks too. She doesn't want to say it.
Because I'm proper.
Yeah, but you know that's exactly what she's thinking.
Listen, if this was like...
okay, most girls looking at that are like, ooh. Anyway, that's another problem.
No, but like, when I lift like the heavy sandbag, like what was it, like at 260 or something like that, like anything over 240, it's like this anything is a past 200 fight.
No, anything at 200 is a fight. Like this is why I love the sandbag so much. Is the neural output is not the same, for example, as a deadlift, but you have to come with such an aggression into the sandbag.
I think a deadlift is less neural output than a sandbag. If I lift, I have to be so careful because if you lift with a barbell, if you're not like really paying so much respect to the barbell, you are gonna get hurt.
But recovery-wise, it's easier to recover from a sandbag. It's easier to recover from a heavy sandbag than from a deadlift because deadlift is more weight off the floor, so the impact on the soft tissue and a number of things is different.
No, but like a heavy sandbag, you can lift a heavy sandbag every single day. Like even when we were in LA, I lifted that 285 sandbag at Mike's gym on Monday, and when we did the podcast on Wednesday, I lifted 300 pounds.
But it requires it requires an aggression that you have to go find. I just find it easier to find it on the sandbag, probably because of the skill involved, than I do on a deadlift. I can't get aggressive enough on the deadlift. Maybe it's just me flinching, by the way, but I can't find the aggression on the deadlift that I can find on the sandbag. On the sandbag, it's a sandbag or me, but someone is winning. And I ain't going to lose that.
Yeah, I mean...
type of thing. I can't find that on the deadlift.
Personally, if I deadlift, I do not think I'm aggressive. I mean, I probably look like I'm fucking aggressive, but mentally, I'm trying to be as sane as I possibly can be. Within that...
That's hard. Doesn't go very far. But no, because, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's the deadlift. There's so much skill on the deadlift, so much positioning of your hips. I can't go ape shit. Not like I go on a sandbag. Is like, when you power clean sandbag, is like, well, I should go, you just toss it up. So I like the heavy sandbag far more. Yeah. But, and also what I like about it is you could do a heavy sandbag pretty much every day. Yeah. It's very close to the body weight. How it feels to me, it's very close to the body weight strength in the sense of a heavy sandbag I could play with every day. Body weight for strength, I can do that every day, no problem. The second I go toward the barbell, suddenly it taxes me far more, nervous system-wise. Yeah. So that, by the way, that might just be us. That's something I'd be curious to know how you guys feel about. Is it can you do a heavy sandbag every day versus a barbell that can only be so often? I'd be curious. I know I'd never ask you to comment, but on this one, I'd be curious. Is that the same for everybody? I feel body weight for strength and sandbag for strength can be an everyday thing. Obviously, you would have to alternate like upper and lower body, but you get the idea.
Do you think I mean, obviously with the barbell back squat versus the sandbag squat is the load directly on the spine, but even with...
sorry, fire ant just got me. Dude, I didn't do anything. Man, Brazilian ants are aggressive.
No, but why you... Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Brazilians are aggressive.
Also rookies like sitting on the wood like that. Like
no, but like full-blown fire ants just attack me out of nowhere. Yeah. Welcome to Brazil.
They're
anyway.
So violent. Yeah. But do you think it has maybe even to do with the way you grip it? Like because a sandbag you grip like this and a barbell you grip like this, it's
possible.
Different?
It's
just like with the load on the spine, or is that a stupid thing to say? I mean, I just recently...
It's less weight. Technically, it's less weight. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. There's also more contact points and everything.
Yeah,
it might be. It might be. And again, it's a natural functional movement, just like body weight is, in a way that the barbell is not. So it might be that actually it's the other way around. It's just the barbell is so unnatural that it takes us a long time to recover. Maybe all of us are supposed to be able to do something heavy and hard every day. But the barbell and dumbbells are being so unnatural and stress the soft tissue in the body in such an aggressive way that's why it takes us so long to recover from. Obviously, because of the increased stress, it can create more results maybe on at least muscle building, because you can direct things a bit better. But is that better? Like that's a good conversation. So is the barbell, for example, because it's a natural movement, you can create more stress, but at what cost? Everything is a trade-off. There are no solutions, right? So because the fact is the barbell is far more taxing, I believe, than the sandbag. So
I think, and even like lifting a farmer's handles and carrying him, it is a different sensation than a sandbag, obviously, but it's also you grip it differently. But I think it's still less taxing than a barbell.
Yeah, but it's also neutral.
It's neutral.
But it's not as good as a sandbag carry that you can do more often. For example, if I were to train a wrestler, it'd be heavy sandbags all day, because that they can do. Look at wrestlers; they're not powerlifters.
No.
But you would think wrestling being such obviously conditioning, but strength being such an important part of it, by now all wrestlers should be have some powerlifting in their training, and they don't. It's all about speed. I think the heavy sandbag would be a key to a wrestler. Maybe there is something there about a true functional movement versus the barbell. Like I don't know, honestly. I'm just musing on the subject, but that's for another podcast. No, I'm not criticizing the barbell. Don't lose your shit. We still use it and everything. She's still going to compete in powerlifting. So we're not necessarily condemning the barbell. We're just talking about recovery when it comes to training. And for someone who wants to train, for example, heavy every day, for strength every day, my programming for that person would be sandbags and body weight.
No, but
that's about
and
it.
I think there's another conversation there that you can have on like, okay, a barbell in a program, like the way you laid out the program you did now is fantastic if you want to be super strong and fit. But if you and even if you want to compete in everything, I think powerlifting and the barbell is great if you want to measure something. Like you can measure, like the reason purely like why I like powerlifting or why I would like Olympic weightlifting is like, hey, listen, we do all this strong fit stuff, and here is a competition with like solid lifts that are always the same, with barbells and plates that are already the same, where I can show that this stuff
190
works.
versus 195 versus 200.
That's the reason why I like powerlifting. But technically, in the training sessions and the way you train for your day-to-day life, you can really argue that you don't need a barbell.
No, but by the way, that would be an interesting template. I'd be curious to know if people, imagine a PDF, body weight and sandbags.
I mean, I think...
Just getting strong, body weight and sandbags.
I mean, I think that was the original fit template you brought out, right? That was basically what you were doing, like strongman movement and body weight.
Right, but
then
like
people love that template.
A lot of people don't have access to the strongman stuff, or a lot of people just don't want to touch strongman implement. But imagine a program because the reason I say that is because you go on vacation, you go to the beach, you bring 3 sandbags, there's a pull-up bar somewhere, off we go.
Yeah.
So all you need is like exactly. You need 3 to 4 sandbags and a pull-up bar, and we have a program based on that.
I mean, I think that would be something that people really, really enjoy. Because it's also interesting for coaches to learn and apply to their clients. Because to most people, if they see like, okay, this directly correlates to my day-to-day life, like carrying the groceries inside, that's much more interesting for me than learning
plus,
how
like if you have a garage gym or stuff like that, it'd be so easy to train your clients like that.
Right?
I mean.
Yeah, I think it could be very
body weight
fun.
And sandbags, because I believe you could do about everything like that. I would love the rope pull somewhere. I won't lie. Yeah. But even if we can't,
sled work. I mean,
sled work is once a week.
I mean, is it a Strongfit template without sleds in it? I don't think so. But if you go, it needs to sneak in somewhere, you know.
Well, yeah, but let's say you're on vacation. If you're at the beach, it's easy. We put some. You can still drag a sandbag. There's still some ways to do that. That could
actually be very interesting.
So
like drag it, squat it, carry
but we could have a thing where you do sandbag and body weight, and like extra would be just bring a rope and then and a tire, and then we put it on the beach, and then we're gonna put the sandbag in the tire. You're gonna do rope pulls, sled drags, all that stuff, sled sprints on the. Dragging the sled, like you could do, like there are ways to do that. So like a vacation template, basically.
That's interesting because, like, the way you laid out the template, especially like the system in the beginning of the podcast. If you have that as a base, you can literally you could create that as a base and have like pick and choose which I guess cover you want to put over it, like which taste you want to have of that template, like what shape you want it to take. Like, do you want like
look, instead of deadlifting, you could put like heavy power cleans. I mean, like super heavy or like really picking up the heaviest sandbag possible. It still would count as a deadlift in that sense. We could, it still works. Anyway, I'm hungry. We're gonna move on, and then we'll talk about it on the next podcast. Bring the questions on the comments and everything, or email us. And then it'd be kind of a cool program to do because that's like a simple 6-week PDF.
Yeah, you can like. I still think it's a good idea to have like people like kind of having options of which direction they want, because that's the beauty. What I love so much about your principles and your system is that you can really like. I use it for sprinting. I use it for power. Yeah, I know that's the point, but it's a hard thing to grasp on because people like go so specific. Like if you do strongman, that's strongman. If you do this, that's this. That's really not the way it's. Like how it can be really, because like with the principles you can apply technically to anything. Yeah. Anyway.
And the monkeys are invading us, so we shall talk next week. See you guys.